Yeah, when you in Google Docs here, if you do a file and then there's a open, it'll bring up all of your files here if you have any. But you see the upload at the far right. This is the upload here is if you want to pick one from your flash drive, from your local PC, and so forth. Yeah. You probably don't have any Word documents on yours, so I just wasn't sure where it's at. But, if you did have a Word document, though, that's where you do it.
Okay.
Now let me show you mine, because I do have Word documents on my computer. I'm almost 100%. Well, we had a Word class in yours, so some of you might have Word documents. But if I click the select a file from your device,
So we're talking Word, not Excel, right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, here's a Word document. It's got a lot of math and stuff on it. So let's see what this looks like. It's uploading it there.
Wow.
It brings up my Word document. Now even bringing this up, it doesn't lose a lot of the formatting, which I'm surprised by. But that seems to be their goal, is to be kind of a replacement for Word and so forth. So it doesn't surprise me that they put a lot of effort into it.
So can you change stuff on that document from there?
Yeah.
If you're a member,
This can be
don't
changed.
you have to be invited for somebody else to change it?
If you share a document with somebody, and we'll take a look at that. But but this is not changing the actual Word document. This is changing a copy.
Okay.
So in order to actually save it back to the Word document, you'd have to do a file, download as Microsoft Word, and then overwrite the file.
But could you save that as something new? You said it's a copy, so then you can save a copy of it somewhere?
If I close this right here, and it appears like it's gone, right? If I click this little blue document here, you see the file is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So automatically when you upload it, it saves it in your storage here.
And how often does it save? Like, is it every so many seconds?
That part I don't know the answer to, because I was looking at it earlier and it's just like, wow, what's the criteria here? Because if it saves every half an hour, you don't lose half an hour's worth of work. I don't know about that. Anyway, I'll go back to here where everybody is, and we'll after we play with this a little bit, we'll save it as a Word document just so you have something that you can upload from your PC. Okay, now this has all of your standard items. You just start typing. I'm holding down my control key and I'm using my mouse wheel to make it bigger for you. So if you need to make yours bigger, you hold down the control and you do that red button on your mouse. Hopefully everybody has a red button. And you can make that bigger.
When you hold it down.
Yeah, if you hold down.
Is that true for outside of Google too?
It's true in every web browser. Well, it's definitely true in Chrome. But it's in every web page you can do that. Sometimes it does weird things, though. It's not like you can predict it.
So don't use it.
Oh, no. Don't use it. Try it. If it doesn't, you just go back the other direction.
Okay.
So when I say it doesn't do what you think, I got this this package for ebooks because my eyes aren't very good and I can't really use textbooks, so I have to use the ebook because it's bigger. And when you try to make it bigger, sometimes it will be working over here in the side, and it'll be making that bigger and not this area here. Even if you click this area and try to do it, it's still just weird things. But that's because they programmed it poorly. But yeah, most good websites that work that way. Okay, so after you get this to the point where it's larger, let's see. This is my document. I'm happy to be working in Google Docs. So go ahead and type something. Doesn't matter what. Just like anything else, you press enter, goes down the next line. Just all of your standard items really go with Word. Now, maybe a little bit hidden where you need to go and modify something. To highlight some item in your document, you hold down with your left mouse button and you drag across. You can also double click a word and it'll highlight the word. Supposedly, if you're really fast, now maybe not even fast in Google Docs. I guess you don't have to be fast in Google Docs. You click it 3 times, it'll highlight the entire line. I don't know if 4 lines would highlight an entire paragraph or what, but
So what do you do to get one? I got it once and then it quit.
you just click once in the word, and you click twice, and it highlights the word.
Okay.
Or if you want to hold down your left mouse button and drag it over, you can highlight whatever word you want. Go ahead and highlight something. Doesn't matter what you highlight. Now up here we got bold. That's our B. And that's true in about every package you ever run across. If you see a B, it's bold. You see an I kind of at an angle like that, it's always italics. This is underline. The next one over is your text color. So if you click that, you can change your color. You can even do a custom here if you wanted to if you choose that. You can do whatever range you want. You just click in there somewhere. So again, what I did is I clicked the A with a color underneath it. This one right here. And then choose some kind of color. There's also a highlight color here if you wanted to play with that. But anyway, we got something changed. Some of you, if you were at the Excel training or Word training or both, there was a copy where you could copy the formatting from one area to another. Well, they've stole the idea for this, that idea, and put it into this. If you clicked in where you want the formatting to be copied from. So it doesn't matter how much you have highlighted. It doesn't matter where you click in it. You just clicked in where you got the formatting at. I'm clicked between a P and happy. You see this little roller here? So you click that paint roller. And then you come over here and you click and hold down and drag it across what you want to apply that formatting to. And then that'll change that formatting. I think I almost like it a little bit better in Word because the paint roller makes sense. Sort of. You put it in the paint and then you put it something over and you're drawing on whatever you want. There's also, if you highlight something, you see there's a font here. Now, if you draw a drop down, you're not going to see the wide variety, probably, that you'd see in your Microsoft Word. But again, that depends upon what version you have, I suppose. But, who needs 500 fonts? Here's lobster. Courier New, that's kind of a standard one. Times New Roman, the standard one. So usually the two big ones that a lot of people use are those. So you can choose those. I'll choose Pacifico.
Which one's that?
That one was Pacifico. Or
Pacific.
Yeah, I think that's how you said.
Oh, yeah. In other words, that's script.
Correct. You can change the size of it. Do the drop down here. Change it to whatever size you want. Now I notice I got that that highlighted. And if I come down here and I choose 48 and I got my mouse over it, it does not give me an automatic preview. If you've used Word, that's one of the features they added in the Word, I don't know how long ago. But if you have whatever highlight, you come up and do it, it gives you a preview before you apply it. Well, unfortunately that isn't here, but it's free, so if I choose 48 and I think, whoa, that's not quite right. I don't want it to be 48. There is an undo over here. It's also Control Z. That's probably the best thing you can remember on a computer is Control Z, because it doesn't matter what package you're in. If you mess up, Control Z, probably 99% of the time will undo whatever you've done.
Control B or D?
Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, because I didn't get what you got.
Or you can do this, click this button over here, and it'll undo it for you.
Okay.
Now it also has a history to it, so you can keep undoing it. This button to the right of it is to redo it.
Where's the history?
You can't see the history like you can in Word.
It just keeps undoing it.
Right. Now, while we're here, to the right of it is your print. So if you want to print something, you do that. To the right of that is your spell check. I think it's kind of hit and miss on the spell check on this. I don't think it's as good as Word. Dear Mom, I miss you. Wish you were here. It is too cold.
You had to work it, mistyping that.
Yeah, I had to really think about that. Okay. You see right here, it does put the little red squiggly under what I mistyped. If I right click on it, it'll say, well, did you mean this? And some of it's good, some of it's right on target on what I wanted, and some just really fall short on recognizing what it should be. You can see there's other items you can do here, but I'm going to go ahead and change that to miss because that should be miss. Wish is obviously spelled wrong. So I right click on that and choose wish. Now here was spelled wrong, and this time it came back and told me which was the correct one. It did not do that earlier. I misspelled here that way earlier, and it took it. That's just like, no, that's wrong. You're supposed to tell me that's wrong, but like I say, it's kind of.
Where did you get the drop down?
If you right click on the red squiggly word.
You have to mistype something.
Yeah,
Misspell it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Misspell
You're
a
too good
word.
at spelling.
Yeah, misspell a word.
See how it's got the red squiggly under it then?
Oh.
So then you right click on it. And it'll guess, did you mean, and you see at the very top it says tonight. And then if you did, you can choose that.
So it's right. Thank you.
It is too cold. It is too cold. Oops. It is too cold. See, in Word, it didn't think it's a misspelling, but it's got like a blue or purple squiggly under it, meaning that, hey, I don't think this is right. And you right-click on it, and it suggests 2. Over in this package, there is no line underneath the 2 here.
It's a word, so therefore it's good.
What?
It's a word, so therefore
It
it's
didn't check your
good.
grammar.
It doesn't check the grammar, yeah. There's a fantastic package. I'd recommend if you have issues like I do to get Grammarly. There's probably other ones available. Grammarly has a free, that I never paid for it, free plugin for Chrome, and it saves me so many times when I'm in Chrome at home because it comes up, says, "Oh, this isn't right." It's like, "Oh no, it isn't." I right click on it, fixes it. Right click this, and so instead of sending out these emails where the administration of college thinks I'm a total idiot, at least it's halfway correct. Yeah. Look, it's just like, did he take English at all?
So you install that on your computer,
Right.
and it takes over whether it's Excel or no matter what program you're using, or is it just
No, it's just the browser. It's a plug-in for the browser for Google Chrome. Like probably if I search Grammarly free, Grammarly plug-in for Chrome. Then when I do that, I see there's a Grammarly for Chrome here. I don't know if I have admin rights. What am I talking about? You get to here, you click add to Chrome. It'll say add extension. It's pretty easy to set up. Famous last words to watch not work. I think it installed. See this up here? It says Grammarly. So now if I'm over in a package and I'm typing something, maybe over even in here. Let's see if it recognizes it in here. It's cool, too cold. Doesn't recognize it in this, unless I have to actually sign in. In which case, I don't remember my sign in for Grammarly. But yeah, anybody use Grammarly?
I do.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really, as far as I can see, it doesn't slow my computer down at any. And I keep thinking I'm gonna buy the the full version because then I'll appear smart in every document I create, Word or whatever it is. Yeah. Now there's options over here. Probably most of these you won't deal with, especially the insert link or the add comment. But there is a image here. If you do the drop down on that, you can upload from your computer. And you probably don't have any images that are worthwhile on your computer there. You can search the web, Google Drive. So if you have images stored out in your Google Drive, you can access those. If you use Google Photos, you can access those. If you got a camera, actually, do these have a camera on them?
We should talk about that stuff too, like the Google Drive and the downloading and all that craziness.
Eventually.
For that. That's what I was
Yeah.
hoping for
Now, if I say allow the camera, and I think all of you should have cameras too, you can click allow. If it comes up and prompts you for that.
Oh my god. I don't think this is myself.
Let's see how it takes a picture.
Yeah, it shows you. I'm like, I don't know.
Really?
That's all you had to do. I did
And then click insert. So yeah, what I did there, I did it kind of fast, is I clicked the little down area here next to the image, and I chose the camera here.
Insert. Now, do what?
Um, Once you take a picture, you have to click this little camera picture here. And it puts this image over here. And I'm guessing the way this is designed, it looks like you could sit there and take multiple pictures and see which one you like.
I can't believe it's showing you moving. It's actually,
Yeah.
it shows your motion.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Do I hit insert now? Or after I put on my- When do you hit insert?
Whenever you have the one you like over here on the side, and there's a little blue box around it,
Okay.
or whatever color is on your computer, then you click the insert button here, and it'll insert that image.
There it is.
Interesting.
That.
Well, you didn't ask me.
Now, in theory, if you have a webcam hooked up, you could point the webcam at whatever object, take a picture of it, and then insert it into your document.
Okay, you're off.
No.
Good.
I didn't know.
He doesn't wanna get sued.
I hit push that up and let that, once you get into your document, you have to go back to your, you have to hit insert. And then you can, if you don't like it, then you can get that first stuff. See, he's got both of his.
Yeah, you can put as many images as you want in there. Now, after you get in there, if you click like this one here, you'll notice when you click it, it puts little squares around the entire image. That means you can put your mouse over one of those little squares, and it becomes a black arrow of some sort. You click and hold down with your left mouse button, and you can drag it and resize it. You know, I'm shocked Word doesn't have that. Maybe they do, and I just don't know it.
So how do you drag it? Oh, you don't, you can't change position on your.
You can.
Just by going in and going like that. Good, I agree.
Doesn't Word have a insert picture?
Huh. Yeah, I don't see a camera. Look at that. I didn't figure Google Docs would have anything Word didn't have.
I've never even heard of this before, so.
I thought Google Docs was just somewhere where you put your documents. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful in terms of the editing and so forth.
Me too. I thought Google Docs, we were going to come in here and talk about how to share and how to do this, and I'm like, oh, we're actually working in a document? Okay.
Yeah, the sharing part's going to be probably about 5 minutes. We won't spend a huge amount of time on that, because
I also thought it was cool that you actually pick up the image and like put it in the middle of your words. You know, you can pick it up and put it under between I miss you and wish you were here. Just
right.
drag and drop it, and that's amazing. The word is not nice to you about that.
It depends on how you create the image, but even then, it's not very easy to wrap text around it. Especially if you have the image floating, that's a horrible. Sometimes when you get a table floating over your document too, it's just like it's a nightmare. I never could. They asked me to change some course procedures, and they were floating tables. And on some of them, I was able to cut it and paste it back in as a regular table and work with it. But the floating tables by themselves, I couldn't do much with.
That's the part of Word that frustrates the heck out of me. So that's the I'll probably use this thing in 5 minutes and then create it. Because the fact that you can just stick that wherever you want and insert it just like it's text almost.
Yeah, so you can type text to the side.
There it is. There it is. It's not highlighted. It's just up there.
How did you type the text to the side?
I just click to the side of it and just start typing. And let's see what this does in my document. Because I noticed that there's a wrap text. I haven't played with the wrap text. I haven't played with every feature in Google Docs. I did a wrap text and it threw it up here. And it's wrapping it to the side of the picture. A little bit too high though. I wonder if I press an enter, what it'll do. Well, there it goes. I wonder if I put words in the front. So I'm going to do my left arrow key, put my cursor over. Well, surprised it didn't let me put it to the front. But at least you can put it to the side. Everybody get some words around your image in some sort?
Text break. Break text. Whatever that.
That means throw the text on the next line.
Oh.
So if you don't want it wrapped over here to the side, then you can do that. Interesting. I never have taken a picture with Google Docs.
No.
Can't edit that picture.
I resized it and it went back. No, wait. I already cropped it.
If you click on the image, and you got it selected, and you right click on it, there's a image options. You can crop the image. Like if you want to cut part of it out, you can do that. Image options, transparency, recolor.
So I have to be on the internet to use this though.
Yes,
Okay, so that's one downside.
that's one downside.
It's not just a matter of me opening up my laptop and typing.
Right.
Because I was like, how is it doing two things and then, okay, no, it's cool, but I mean, you gotta think about that as far as your internet availability.
You do. You definitely do. You can recolor, transparency. What's that do with that image? Like that. Brightness. It's a bit too bright. It's a bit too dark.
Shop image. More of those smaller. You can't shop the background.
Let me see. Reset that, and I'll close the image options. You see the crop, you say? If I choose, if I have the image selected one time, and I right-click on it, and I choose crop image, these little bars here, typically those are what you can.
Well, why did you do that?
Yours didn't allow that.
Yes, the bars,
They
there
did
it is.
that?
Yeah.
I give it a double click.
Now what do you do? Save it?
Press enter, and mine. Though you probably maybe you can click outside of it.
I'm gonna have you all over the internet. I didn't know that's what you were working with. Like blow up.
Now you can also not just images you take, but you can bring in images from your PC, flash drive. You can search. Here is my next image. I'm gonna come up here, do the drop down there, and I'll say search web. What's a safe thing that won't bring up anything inappropriate in class? Pink Panther. I usually use that in my programming just because I've never had anything bad come up. So I find a Pink Panther image, You click that one time, and then you can click the insert here.
Okay, can we go back for a second, see how you got to that point?
Uh-huh. I click the image here,
Oh, yes, okay,
and then I did the search the web.
okay.
You know, math should be pretty safe. Let me search for algebra.
Search the web.
And then you type in whatever you want in this little bar up here. And then you press enter. Once you find an image you like, you can scroll down. You can click this over here or use your mouse wheel to scroll down. Once you find the one you want, if you click it, it puts a little check mark next to it. The implication is, it says one selected, that kind of implies you can choose multiple ones, right? So if I clicked another one, it says two selected. And once you get whatever you want selected, you click insert. And it'll bring those in. Should be at the bottom there.
There it is. And why should I keep losing it?
And just like anything else, you can resize them if they're too big.
Look at that. Did you get Auto University? That's the old.
I do think, I'm curious to know what everybody chose their image because, when you do a university, when you have a,
I just copied the teacher.
yeah, Diana showed like, a house where I did SpongeBob. So, my maturity level is showing.
SpongeBob? Oh, yeah.
I'm young at heart, people.
You are.
Oh, I love watching SpongeBob with my son. Those were fun times. Now, some of you discovered you can move these around. If you click and just drag, you can move it to wherever you want. So it's got complete control over that. As far as I know, it doesn't float like Word does. So when you move it, where you move it to, it'll actually be. You may have to adjust the wrap text or break text to get it somewhat like you want. Now there's also an insert option up here. And under the insert, you're going to see that you have the same option here, image. So if you don't remember which one's the image, or maybe you can't see it for whatever reason, if you come up to your insert, that's where you're going to find that at. Now, even more than that, you see there's a table option up here. And if I choose that table option, move my mouse to the right, I can start drawing how many rows and how many columns I want. So let's say I want there 3 by 2, that's weird. 3 columns by 2 rows. Mathematics is always rows by columns, but 3 by 2. You got this here, and now if you drag this and move it into one of the cells, now I have complete control, and the breaking is not going to mess me up. I can type whatever I want over here also. I really don't like fooling with the wrap text. So I was playing with that myself because I hardly ever use it. I like tables because I can control it completely at that point. Everybody's different. I don't like to fiddle around trying to get things just right. I want this to control it. And by putting it here, I can highlight this. I can come up and I can change the font size. I wish I had the preview. If we get a table of some sort. Again, that's under the insert, and I just chose table.
So can you format the information that you typed in that box? Like I want to see centered or different. I mean, you can change you highlight it and change it to Pacific, I guess. Yes, the answer to all benefits.
Yeah. And yeah, you can do all that. And see, there's 3 little dots over here. If you're looking for the left align, the center, that's where it's at. So you can center that. Number it. Increase indent, decrease indent. Background color. So it's like that right there. So if you have that highlighted,
How did you get to that?
I did 3 little dots,
3 little dots. There they are. Okay.
and then I don't know what that is. Paint bucket dripping. You do the drop down on that, and you can choose whatever color you want. Looks like that. And you might not even have to highlight it. I'm so used to highlighting. Let's do you? Let's see.
For the background of your.
I didn't have to highlight anything in there, and it changed the whole box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did highlight, but I guess you don't.
I'm so used to highlighting because it's from like a few versions back and most software packages, but
Okay.
it's,
Cannot forget. Stay right there. Okay, I want to put a background in there, and every time I click on it, it goes to that.
you want a background in here?
No, on this one.
On that one. Okay, so click down at the bottom.
At the bottom of what?
Click. Is there a click right there? Okay, now we go ahead and do the background.
I can't, it erases the background option when you get it. When you click on it.
Oh, it does. Click there one time. And then we'll do.
There you go. I do, what you do. Okay, good job.
Now, if you got an image in the, the table, like if I move this, if I get to there, move that down to there. His question was, well, that's bad. Well, anyway, he couldn't click just the text in here. Like he couldn't click over here. And if you can't click the text, you can't do your background. One or two things you can try is if I click to the cell to the right, if you just do your left arrow key, it may not highlight the image. That's one item. The other thing you can try, and I think that's one that worked on yours. The other thing is if you click here and then do a right arrow key, sometimes that'll work.
Click where?
If you click the image and then you just do your right arrow key or left arrow key, it should put it in the text.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And then you can access all those options up there. But yours wasn't working as nice as that. Because mine, if I just click over here, it allows me to click. Yours wasn't allowing that. So. Now, if you don't like these borders on here, if you have, let me highlight the, you can definitely do it a cell at a time, but let me try to highlight the row. If you have the entire row highlighted, there's this drop down here. And I should have done those 3 dots up first. But if you do this arrow or drop down in the upper right hand corner. This is how you can change what you want for your borders.
Border dash.
Yeah, like if I have this one highlighted, and let's say I just want a right border on that. That's curious. I thought it would. Well, never mind. Inner select.
Oh.
Well, let's see if I remember how to get rid of it then.
All right. Oh, great job. Sorry.
It's positive affirmation.
Yeah.
I guess they walk
Oh, okay, since I'm just sitting here.
Okay, there it is.
Well, I don't know. Oh, here it is, table border. Well, that doesn't allow very much options.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. How did you get your table properties?
If I'm in my table,
Okay.
so click anywhere in your table, and you go up to your format,
Okay.
table properties. Let's see. You click in your table, and then format, table properties. Then you see table border. If you choose 0, and then click OK, that'll get rid of your lines.
Ooh. Oh, that makes it look like it's right there.
I like my lines, so I'm gonna put them back. It bothers me. As you can tell, I don't get rid of my lines very much, so that's why.
I increased mine. That is what. So yeah, I made mine bigger.
Yeah. You notice also under format, there's text, which we already looked at, bold and italics, but it has some extra items here: superscript, subscript. If you're doing reports.
Before we go any further, we highlighted that around it, but mine always turns up blue. Maybe can I change it to a different color, or does that just mean it's darker?
Blue. You mean like when you're
You highlight the whole column, and we made that frame around it.
let me see.
Yeah. Good job. Should help me.
Maybe I have to wrong. You told me the wrong way.
Oh, okay. And how do you make it a different color?
Yeah. Do you? Or is that? See, that doesn't.
Oh, the blue. Yeah, it looks like it's just what you have selected is what's.
But it didn't make it very dark compared to the other.
No. Now there is a.
I still struggled with highlighting the row. How did you highlight the row?
Very hokey. I clicked and dragged over.
Okay.
There, we got it. I figured out. You have to go one to the left. Quarter width.
Is it these 3 lines here?
Yeah. You got
Right
to
there?
do that
The border width? Does that apply to whatever you have selected?
one. Yes.
So if I have that selected,
But you
Yeah.
need your whole table from the table formatting, and then you can increase the line width on the
There
whole
you
table from that and from format table properties or table properties.
or if you like he's doing if you want to do a cell at a time, then you highlight it and you can do that border width. Oh, you can choose 0 here. So if you want to shut one of the borders off. Okay, that works out nice. Now you'll notice as you put your mouse over like between 2 cells, it's kind of small there, but it becomes 2 vertical lines with arrows on them. If you click and hold down and drag, you can resize that particular column. If you put it here between 2 rows, it again becomes that double double line with the 2 arrows. If you click and hold down, then you can resize that. Every change you make is automatically saved in Drive. Last edit was seconds ago. So in response to your question, I'm guessing seconds.
And I thought that's what that was. When I asked the question, I was like, "Okay."
But it's not saved as anything, or how do you, so what is it saving it as if you haven't saved it as something?
It's in their own format.
I mean, the name of it, or the.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. You see up here where it says My Doc 1? And yours might say something different. If you come up here and click, you can change this to whatever you want. So my creation. So yeah, you can change it as many times as you want. Algebra document. I wonder if there's a limit.
So then how do you find that from your File Explorer, your Windows Explorer? Is it on?
You wouldn't. It's up in the cloud. So,
So the only way to save it to your PC is to, or you can't, or are you ever saving it to a PC?
actually, since all of you have a Word document at this point, if you do a file and download as, so there's no save as,
Okay.
it's download as. So it's making a copy, which means any changes you make to this, you have to re-download it if you want to save it to your PC.
So then if you save it as a Word and you try to work in it, you'd be working in it in Word and you wouldn't have this flexibility. Is that right? I mean, once I did that.
No, I'm guessing about everything you do in here will go straight into Word. We can try it.
So then if we saved it as a Word document and then went to our File Explorer, Windows Explorer, opened it up in there, I would be limited to what Microsoft Word could do at that point.
You would, but like I say, I don't think there's anything it puts in here.
It should look the same.
Yeah, because when you download it as a Microsoft Word, it should put everything as Word compliant. So yeah, if you do a file and you do download as and choose Microsoft Word, now down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a little bar appeared here. If you click that, that'll open it up in Word. I'll enable editing.
It definitely looks different.
Does yours look different?
Just the way it's set up, and I think it's my view. You've got yours where you're viewing it as a sheet, and I think I've got my view on the whole page. So let me look at it as a, it's your view. I don't have it as print layout. I had it as read mode. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Here's read mode. That's probably what you're seeing, maybe.
Mine looks the same. Like,
Mine pretty well looks the same. I mean, it's got a lot more space at the sides. Where
Yeah, you do.
So is it letting you format it here then?
you should be able then to highlight whatever and change to Algerian. You should be able to grab the image, resize it. So yeah, is yours not letting you?
Oh, I'm gonna have to start over.
Now, if you don't catch that the downloaded the file, sometimes you miss it. Sometimes I do.
I've done
You said, where in the world did it go to?
that. Yeah.
It should by default go in your download folder.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to get to too. It's like, where do I find it from my Explorer? Okay.
If the File Explorer is down here in the bottom bar, looks like a folder with like a blue metal thing on the side, maybe. If you click that, maybe it'll work. Sometimes the File Explorer didn't work on these new laptops. So if it didn't work on yours, let me know. It comes up. If you click Downloads, then you'll see your downloads there.
It's not there.
Did you name it? Or did you?
No, I didn't name it. Yeah, no, I didn't save it.
Did you change the title of the file?
Yeah.
Oh, my practice. So you didn't see my practice?
I can get to the File Explorer, but it doesn't, it's just not responding, but I understand what you're saying.
Is it not as responding?
It's just not responding, but that's okay, 'cause as long as I know it's under the downloads, then I'm good.
Now, it will respond if you right-click on it and you choose Pictures.
Oh, there it is.
I didn't know that. Good job.
I'd have no clue what's wrong with those. And I've researched that problem, and I can't figure out why File Explorer doesn't work on half the laptops that they ordered, but it doesn't.
That's odd.
Several.
Yeah. Now, go ahead and in Word, go ahead and make some changes if you brought up in Word. So I've already changed mine. I've changed this font here. Let me type some new text. Okay, this is myself in the classroom, having fun teaching the workshop. And it's curious it didn't break that. There it goes. Okay, so I made some changes. Maybe I'll insert an image. Doesn't matter what changes you make. I'm going to do an insert. I'm going to choose shapes. So I'm in the insert tab right here. I'm choosing shapes. And I'm going to put a smiley face here. And then I'll click and draw my smiley face. This is floating, isn't it? I did insert, and I chose shapes. And the smiley face right here, under basic shapes.
Okay, yeah.
And then after I chose that, then I just clicked in here and drew. I held my left mouse button and dragged, and it drew the image.
So what do you mean by floating? What does that mean to you?
You see when I click this, you see how it has the little bars over here? But more than that, see how it's over the table? It's not to the above the table. It's not to the side of the table. It's floating over the table.
As opposed to something that's, I mean, what's the antithesis of a floating?
If I
If you print it, it's going to cover it up.
it'll cover that up. The other option of that, you see when I do an enter, it didn't do what I wanted. But if I come down here, and I have my cursor right there, and I do an insert, and I choose online pictures. And I'll search for Pink Panther. Now I got this Pink Panther here, and I'll choose insert. You notice how this appears to be right in that cell, doesn't it? If I grab this and try to put it over something, like over this text.
Yeah, that's the word that I know. Trouble.
Right.
This is the part of Word that makes me, so I just, okay.
Yeah, so this is not floating. This is actually embedded inside the document.
So can you do a Pink Panther that's floating since you got it off the internet?
You definitely can, if you got this selected, and if you do a cut, There's a paste option, I believe, where it floats. Maybe not. Paste special.
Gotta go back to Google Docs and do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do everything in there now. That's just, it's so much more flexible.
Let me choose this graphic object. No. I never try to do it that way, actually. I hate floating. I always do it the other way, so whenever.
Yeah, I find this very aggravating because it's moving everything else around and it won't just be.
Oh, and you like the floating?
Independently. And I know, it's like if I have all these other things formatted nicely, the last thing I want to do if I insert something is to have it start moving things around.
Yeah.
See, the worst part of this is that if you do enter on that, see, it'll leave that floating image where it's at. But then again, it's what a person likes.
Okay.
I'm surprised that I can't copy that and make it a floating. That's embedding. That's embedding. That's embedding. I tried this. I doubt if it's that. Doubt if it's that. Doubt. Enhanced meta file, maybe.
About an 8 block or whatever it calls
The
it. Puts it behind.
where'd you see that at?
I didn't see it. But
Oh,
you can put it where it's in the background.
Like a watermark.
What do you call it? Ink something. Now you got it.
I'll have to. I'll do some digging, see if I can find.
Okay. I don't want to get sidetracked with that. I mean, those are the kind of things. Like you've completed a document, you think, oh, it'd be nice to have a little graphic on here or something, and then things go away.
Let me spend just a few seconds on it. How to make a image floating in Word. To make an image float, double click the image on Layout tab, choose Inline with Text. That's not exactly making it float. That's wrapping text. How to make a floating object in Word. Click the insert text box, choose command, draw text box.
How to change from lock to free floating. Simply click the graphic and select it. And new tab in the picture. That's okay. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Anyway, I've really messed this up now, which is good. I got this floating image here. I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to close it. So whatever changes you've made, go ahead and save it and then close.
Are we in Doc or are we in?
We're going back now to Google Docs. And we're going to upload it. Because Google Docs doesn't appear to handle floating images, so I'm wondering what it'll do. Now we have this open currently. You can go back to your Docs home here, but you could simply just do a file and then open here. Again, I did a file and choose upload.
Okay, so but my
Open.
other Google Doc was still open. Do you have to close that?
You shouldn't have to.
The original one, I never.
But since they're the same name, I'm wondering what it will do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose upload. I'm going to select a file from your device. Now, when this pops up, more than likely it won't be in documents what you saved. It's probably in your downloads. So go over into the downloads on the left-hand side here and click. Now, sometimes it's kind of hard to find your file. I heard some of you earlier looking for a file. And I have a real hard time because I don't delete anything. You see where it says date modified up here? If you click that date modified, it'll sort by that. And either your newest document will be clear at the top or clear at the bottom. Again, I clicked the date modified option right here.
Where is date modified?
Let's see.
That's on
Grab that corner down there and pull it. And when I say grab it, and there's no date up there, is there? That's interesting.
You got dates.
Let me see here. Just for a second. Does that say pound?
Yep.
Pound.
I think I'm lost. So
I'm lost,
So
I
what do you
can't.
wanna do?
I don't know.
You
This
wanna
was
go,
my
what he's
original.
talking about is go to
Open
Word,
and then
go down here.
oh, see, I'm the Google Docs.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Oh, I thought he wanted us to open it from Google Docs.
So did I.
Well, we did, I guess.
I'm gonna have to start over with the instructions.
Can we do it over?
Yeah,
Yes,
cause I'm
sir.
lost too.
I thought I was trying to open it from Google Docs and upload.
Yep, you are.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, then yeah, I need to start over with that.
Okay.
Please.
Well, mine hasn't changed. Yeah, okay, maybe.
So basically, I just closed down and then I opened up Google Docs and said,
Okay, so you should get back to Google Docs. Make sure everybody's back.
so open up that file again?
We're going to open it up. So we're going to do a
We're gonna open up a file we just changed in Word.
right.
Okay.
So we're going to do a file open. And it probably says My Drive. If you click over here to the far right, it says Upload. So click the Upload.
I got a picture. Okay.
Then you click the Select a File from your devices, or from your device.
I think it's throwing me because you have that Google.
Already open?
Yes, and I'm like, how can you, so that's what's throwing me.
Yeah.
It's just a mindset thing.
Yeah, because you're thinking open instead of upload.
Yeah.
Because you're never modifying the original copy. You know, whatever you had on your PC when you upload it, it's creating a brand new copy. Now, you see across top says date modified. If you right click on any item up here, this is what you can change to have it viewed. Somebody screwed with your PC. That's why you're not seeing it. That's funny. How do you get that back? So yeah, do a file and upload or upload. Put that blue box. And right click on one of those names up there. Title. The here. Yeah. And see the date.
Can you do it under view details and then you'll have it?
Yes. But his is changed. Date modified is what I have. So if you right click and you choose the right date modified. Did it come back?
Over here.
Students use these during the day and sometimes that's what they do. So if you click date modified now, it'll sort by that.
Oh, really?
and then either the file you're looking for will be at the clear at the top or clear at the bottom. You click it one time, it sorts ascending. You click it again, it sorts descending.
It'll always do that when they modify.
It will. I use that all the time because I have so many files and I don't remember what it's called, and so I just sort by that. Now, if you don't see that on your particular PC, because again, students change those options all the time on you. Up here, it looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but these lines right here, if you do the drop down next to it, this is how you can view it. You can view it by extra large icons. If you like it by that picture, by that view, you can choose large icons, medium icons. Details is where you see the creation date or modified date. So if details isn't selected, you want to choose that. You see if I choose large icons, it looks like that. Extra large icons, that didn't look extra large. That's strange. Mine at home, it'll be large. That's why I know it's like you can get a preview of your pictures. So, if you got, yeah, it's nice because if you got like a lot of family pictures, and you throw them all in one folder like me, you don't want to open up each one individually. And that extra large allows you to see that. I really don't use tiles and content. I don't know what those do.
It gives you whether it's a word or
Is that what that's given there? Okay.
Excel.
Content. Really, the only two I use extra large or I use details. Because again, details is invaluable because then I can click the date modified and have it sorted and showing whatever. But anyway, I won't go to downloads, so I'm going to click downloads. Downloads is over on the left-hand side. Anytime you save anything from the internet, it should always go in downloads. I say that, should always, but I've been using Chrome so long, I don't even know what the other browsers do. Does anybody else use any other browser besides Chrome?
Starts with an E.
Edge? Microsoft Edge?
Edge, yeah. Edge is what was online.
Yeah. Edge is the new one. It is replacing Internet Explorer. Okay, now I found my document. So now if I double click that or click it once and click the open button down here, this will upload it to Google Docs. And we'll see how good it did on the changes I made in Word. Where's my smiley face? It's a floating text here, a floating image. So I guess you can do floating images.
It doesn't go over green though.
Yeah, it's under, isn't it?
That has to do with how you got it set up.
Can you bring it forward and all that kind of stuff?
You can set it as front, behind, wrap around. I thought it just didn't want green. Oh.
Where do you see that at? Where you can do the front and?
Well, you can in Word. I don't know whether you can.
Well, just go back and it's underneath the picture. See where it says inline, edit dash inline.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, it'll put it on top, yeah. And then wrap text, I'm not sure what that is.
But now it's no longer floating.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's not. Because you put it in line. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But no, that's a logical place because you think that the opposite would be there also.
What I was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah. I avoid them like a plague, so I really don't know much about the floating. guess is that it would be under the format.
I would just move it where it's not hiding behind something.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a way
Huh.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, right. It's horrible because it's behind all those items. Usually, you can right click on it and there's a bring forward.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting to see too.
Yeah.
Define up. Obviously not that. It's just edits.
Well, you should. Still have more options.
Maybe it is something. 721. I don't know what you said.
You're all David Hayes.
Okay.
um. Don't know. I sure don't see it bring forward anywhere. But I'm guessing it probably is there somewhere. Oh well. But anyway, that shows you bring a document in. Now notice it says algebra word document. I wonder if there's a limit. This other one says that too. So I'm going to close this. I'm back to here, and I'm going to go back to my docs home. That's confusing. I expected one of them to have a 2 on the end of it. They're the same name.
Mine has a different time.
Yeah.
Same name, different time.
It did that in Word because earlier I'd accidentally saved when I was downloading it. I did it twice, and so it did that for
The 2 on the end?
Explorer. Yeah, put the 2 bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I closed mine before I opened this one because I was like, "What are you doing? Why do you have 2 open?"
Oh.
So I didn't do 2, but.
So yeah, if you're moving your Word document up and down a lot, you probably have to develop some kind of scheme to make sure you don't lose track of it. Now, you see these 3 little dots here? If you click those, and if you're not back here if you're over still in a document, you just click the blue Docs Home here. Down here in the recent documents, if you scroll down, you'll see the 3 little dots here. And if you click that, that implies you're going to have it available offline.
Make it available offline. Turn on offline. That's good.
How would you have that if you don't have the actual package installed? I don't know. Never have done that. But you see, there's a rename option here. If you choose rename, then you give it some. This is my original document. This was, I think that was. Maybe that was my new one.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because the old one would be the. Yeah, this one should be my one I liked.
The second one has a 1 by it.
Does it have a 1?
Yeah, mine did too. Mine doesn't.
In the top, up in the top, it has one.
Oh, up there.
Yeah.
Follow up.
Mine's named at the bottom. It says, it has the one in parentheses. But
know,
I
it's
don't know,
popped
again,
up
it's because I closed it and opened up another, I don't know why.
Maybe
Yeah.
you don't have two of them saved. Maybe you have to work on it twice. This is my, I think this is the,
That's your change point, the original one,
this is my original one. No,
because the
this
heart
is changed.
fair, yeah, that's your
scheduled.
change.
Yeah, this is my second.
Now, if you go ahead and open up one of your documents, you see there is under File, there's a Share option. And this is where if you want to share it with other people, CIS, no, Cali, CIS student 02 at gmail.com. Here is my document. You see there's an advanced option down here. I just typed in the email address. And you can add more people if you want there. You see there's a drop down over here that says can edit, can comment, can view. So if you want to be able to edit your document that you're sending them a link to, you choose the can edit. If you just want them to view it and not be able to change it, then you choose that.
Wow.
Now the advanced down here, this is where you can access this is what I'm used to seeing. Like individually, you can change their rights, what you want them to be able to see and so forth. Is that a true statement? Let's see. Yeah. Because I've shared documents before, but I don't remember if I've actually shared it with two people. Maybe I've done. No, I've never shared with two people. That's kind of bad. I thought you could set right, like I could say she can edit, but she can only view. If you send them separately, then you should be able to do that. But that's bad. It doesn't let you do that. Send a copy to yourself. Paste the item itself into the email. Prevent editors from changing, accessing, adding new people. Disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. Whatever option you'd want there. And then if you click send, okay, here's where it comes up and you can change each individual. I can say Cali Student 2 is the owner. Can edit. And click done. Now, I think how when I get shared files and I share it with other people, it should appear as an email. So on the two I sent it to you two, maybe. No, you're one.
I'm two.
You're two, so you'd be three. So I sent it to you two. Up here, if you see your tab, it says inbox. If you click that,
Okay, I see it.
did you get the email?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then if you open that up, it should just be something you can click that would take you to that document.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Now, can I send it? Somebody,
Let me see. I made you the. Yeah, you should be able to.
I could send it to 4.
Well, would you have to make yourself the owner?
Oh, I can't do that. So if you didn't click that where I cannot send it, I should be able to send it. What is it?
You should be able to send a link to somebody, but unless I've actually give them rights or made the whole world to where they can view it, but you can open it up so anybody can view it.
TENT04. At what?
The emails.
CIS students, whatever.
Gmail.
They were going to be a lot shorter, but then I thought Gmail's going to think I'm doing something bad, and they're going to block me, and then I won't have a class, and I won't have any sign-ins for anybody. And so then I made sure that they could see it was Callie and it was a student, so it looked like it was a training class.
Now you should have been able to get an email. If they could do that, is there a Gmail up there?
This question might be off this, well, it is
Well,
off this topic, but
You didn't get it.
did somebody send him one?
I did.
Oh, you did.
But he said he didn't think I could.
Did you do,
Let's see.
what'd you do?
I sent him the email he
Did
sent
you
me.
do 05 though? Because
I did 04.
4 is that one, that's 5.
Oh,
I'm
you'd be
7.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
That's
why
why.
you didn't get it.
you didn't get it. I did because I did it wrong.
It worked. We
Mhm.
have our email contacts, and so I go to the 9 little dots on the home email Google
Uh-huh.
page, and then I go to contacts, and then so I have a group contact, and I want to add someone to it.
Yeah, how do you do
What
that?
is wrong? It didn't used to be like they updated it, and I'm like, this is stupid.
So you're going here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
contacts.
And by the way, no matter where you are, you should see these 9 squares here. So if you're in Google Docs and you're wondering how do I get back to mail, how do I get to all these? So contacts.
And I'm not in my work email now because I thought that wouldn't be probably a good thing to do. But so I already have a group email
Mm-hmm.
contact, and a new member wants to join that group. So I cannot find a button to add a contact to that group. It's the craziest thing. It's like
I couldn't
how
even find my
Huh?
contact
could it
list.
be?
Where do you create groups at?
Well, that's just it. It was already created,
Oh.
and then Google did this, like an upgrade or whatever.
Right.
And so it's all different. I mean, not all of it. It's just different. So I can't tell you how to create a new group in the new formatting.
I just sent it to the wrong person.
Did he get it?
Did it work now?
Yes, he got it.
Okay.
So you can resend it unless you click that button, do not allow to send. And you can't.
And this might be something you can work on some in your spare time and email me the answer. I Googled it and.
Yeah, they sure don't seem to have a place up here to create a.
A group, yeah.
Aaron, where do you even find your contacts? I mean, like, so here's my.
Are you in your personal?
I went into my personal one because I find Gmail so confusing. So like, this is my personal Gmail. How do I find my contacts? Oh my gosh. Never would have thought that. I've been trying to manage this over here.
So they go contacts, and then you'll have.
So I can add a contact here?
We got an email the other day that said like Google.
How do you even
Plus
add a contact?
is gonna be removed.
contact. So if you wanted to add
Or
me,
sign up for Google
okay,
Plus.
you could do me.
Okay.
Which probably would have
Oh, really? Never signed up for it, and you got an email?
It says you're
Not
gonna
from
close
my
it
home
down.
one.
Okay. So you just put Lindsay stuff. So just yeah, and then
On the way,
see
April 2nd.
at Yahoo. Okay. And then save me.
Okay,
So
so you
now
are,
I'm in there.
so you are now, okay, so
So to do a group,
how do you do a group?
I don't know. Cause I all had all my
I couldn't even
groups
find
created.
contacts all these years.
Well, here you have Project Home Group. So you have one group created maybe.
For home?
There you go.
I have,
There you go. Well, it's old because Jamie's on there.
Yeah. well, then how do you can figure out how to edit it? Ooh, that's the
That's
name
just
of
the
it.
name, exactly. I cannot figure out how to add a contact. So I went down here, I'm like, can I just like
Yeah,
go to
because it
a
has,
blank space?
Yeah,
And
we
it
just
won't let
turned
me.
the lights
well,
on.
it'll let you, let's see. Print,
No.
export, remove, hide.
Oh, there's nobody in the hall, so it automatically shut off.
I wish they didn't do that.
Did you Google it?
I did. But he's doing it now, so he's the expert.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I was like, I mean, the doc thing has been awesome, but I guess I didn't realize Google Docs was outside of, I thought that Google Docs was this whole idea. I had no idea it was like using a Word. So, yeah, I didn't know
No,
what I was
I've
asking
learned
for.
a lot of stuff, but this was
For
my
sure.
main thing to figure out how to add a person to a group.
Did you figure it out yet?
No.
Did you?
Do you have your contacts, your contacts on the left side of your screen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not logged into my Word, but she is.
I went ahead and just logged into my personal one just so I
Yeah,
could
but I mean,
get
yeah, so
something.
it's easy to look at it when I know exactly what I want to do. And
I just have different groups to put in my emails under that group.
right, I want to add one new family, a 4-H family, to my 4-H family email list to the group.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't figure out how to add.
Yeah,
that
even
one
like right now, I
family.
apparently have a group that I don't know how I got it created, which I've got to have it, but I do need to modify
So
it.
yeah, you could edit it, but did you figure out how to edit it?
No.
Here's how you do it.
If
Okay, we're
I
ready.
need to sit down and
Guys,
take
we gotta
notes.
figure this out.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm gonna
I
hurt.
gotta get.
Okay, I have two email addresses here. This is how to create a new group.
I don't want to create a new group though, but that's okay. I still need to know.
I do need to know that too.
See, if you click these up, and I'm in contacts. So if you're not in contacts, click the 9 squares here.
Right.
Push the what?
The 9 squares up here,
Okay,
and choose contacts.
choose what?
Contacts.
Just a minute.
Contacts.
There it is. Okay,
And if you put, you probably don't have any email addresses here. So if you create some contacts, so click create contact. And I didn't put anything in but the first name, last name, and then the email address. So add a couple of email addresses.
do two of those.
You can, or if you want shorter ones, you can do shorter ones.
I don't know how you put all more pages.
Yeah, if I click the create contact here, and I put in like David and Hayes here, and then you click the email down here, and you can type in whatever email address there. Now you don't have to put anything in besides name and first name, last name, and email address. And then you click save. You don't have to click more fields.
didn't even put last name.
Oh, did it? Okay. Comes up with contact details. If that comes up, you just click the X to close that. Now, once you have some email addresses there, I'll let everybody. You still type. Once you have your email addresses in, if you put your mouse over this little picture or D or whatever it says there, you can check it, and you check whichever ones you want. And up here, there's this one that looks like a I don't know what it looks like, label, little arrow maybe. If you put your mouse over, it says Manage Labels. So if I click that, and you click Create Label. My Christmas group.
So you only got the option once you selected more than one. So had she not, that's the only way you see the option.
Right. Yeah, because I was looking all over and it's like this nowhere. And then I found a page that said, hey, you need to go and well, it acted like I had to be in Google Gmail. And I'm sitting here in Gmail, well, there's that option's not there. But anyway, once you do that, you click Save. Now your label will be over here in the side.
Right.
Now, if you don't see it, it needs to be expanded. So, like if you expand that, you'll see your Christmas group, and you see that there's a if I click that, it'll bring this up. Now, your question though is how to add a new one.
Yes.
So let's then address that. How do you add a new one?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Can
like
you go
so
to
bizarre.
edit? Go down there to edit. It says, no, that's
Yeah,
rename.
but it doesn't let you do it.
Yeah, it just renames the label or the title of your group. It's the strangest thing.
You know what? If you highlight inside of them, highlight all your things. Let's see if that does it.
Oh, sure enough. If you start clicking it.
I mean, I don't know if that's doing anything. It says Manage Label. No, it doesn't.
I mean, I find this very sad. How many? There's 2, 4, 6 of us in the room, and none of us.
It should be more intuitive than this, for
that's
sure.
That's what I mean.
That's for certain.
This is not user friendly.
I gotta get another create contact and see what happens.
I mean, if I highlight all of them inside of because I have a project from group. If I highlight all of them, you get the options up at the top, but
there's not like.
So what are you, 7?
Oh, here it is, I think.
Oh, yeah.
If you select one of them up here, like the person you want to add, and you come up to Manage Labels, it'll have a little check mark. So the question is, do I click this? Oh, there it is. So you choose your new one.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Out of your contacts, you find somebody that you might want to add.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not in the group. You're at the email. You choose the email, come up here to manage. It'll drop down with all of your lists, and you.
Then I find the one I want to add them to.
Right.
And then apply. Well, that's nuts.
So basically, you're managing each person. You're not managing
the group. Right.
Yeah, it should be able to be both directions.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be unidirectional.
I gotta write this down because it's not.
Yeah, that's not real obvious.
I deleted all of mine out of there. Yeah. That's not a very good deal. I want to make go back here. I want to make a create label.
And I did know that I had to add that person in by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and then add them to the group, but I just couldn't figure out how to get them in that group. Okay, I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
And this isn't going to be in that video too. I'll put on the page. So if you forget, you can go and.
I have to save that, right? To make a label.
Yeah, I need to build a label. I think it's that one. Manage label. Yeah, so you can name the group or
Holy cow, I'm so excited. I learned so much tonight.
My brain is tired.
Was there anything else in particular you want me to?
That was my main goal. Thank you.
For me, I was,
So what are these? We're talking about Gmail contacts, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and after you create, they call it labels now, I guess, instead of groups. But after you create like a group or a label, then if you go over to your email and you're in the two. Now, how I created that, if you've never used Google, over here on the left side, there's a compose. It looks like just a plus for some. Then if you click that compose, it'll pop up this message. And if you just start typing like my Christmas group or my email group, then you can choose whichever group. And so instead of putting in those 20 email addresses, then you can do that. Like the Chamber of Commerce, I went over and looked at their computer problem they were having yesterday. And I guess they sent emails out to all the members of the Chamber of Commerce, and they have like 200 emails. And what they do is they copy it from Excel and they paste it into the BCC of an email address. What they could do is create groups where they wouldn't have to paste it over each time. They could manage it all within the label, I guess, instead of doing it that way. But they probably do other things with a spreadsheet.
They can make 3 or 4 groups and send 3 or 4.
They could.
And so also, this also means that you could have a person in more than one group. Obviously, I could have it in my Christmas group and my card group and my whatever.
Right. Yeah, you can have how many groups as you want on that.
So the other thing that I found difficult with Google Mail is that, with Microsoft, Outlook, whatever, you could go to the top of your label and just double click it and sort it. You could sort by who it's from. You could sort by, what I'm talking about.
Oh, right.
Microsoft. But in here, like for instance, if I want to get rid of all of my things from Verizon, because I've got the thing where it tells me in Verizon, the kids are texting late at night kind of thing. I'm like, I don't want to see all those. And I was struggling for the longest time to be able just to sort to find all the Verizon ones so I could highlight them all and delete them.
Uh-huh.
But I literally just figured out like a couple weeks ago just to do search mail at the top.
Wow.
It never even occurred to me that you could do that.
Right.
The problem is my Gmail account is not connected to my computer. No, I can't get it.
So I
Not connected?
Yeah, it tells me I'm not connected on Gmail. I got my SUTV account, but my Gmail account.
You should just be able to go to
Yeah, no, I should.
when you go to mail.google.com, it doesn't. Or do you mean synced in with your Outlook?
Right, it doesn't sync in.
Yeah, you should be able to go to any web browser and just type in your sign-in information, but it won't do it.
That I have to. Somehow it won't accept my password. I don't know if it's been changed or what.
Oh, and it's saved in your other location.
This here said it's not even set up on the phone, and I know it is.
have a question about managing my emails. I have 1,900 emails in here. I'd like to get rid of some of them. But it only shows you like 50 at a time. Is there a way to? And so like when I say, okay, I want to search for the ones from Verizon that are just ads or I don't know, different things that I get.
Right.
How do I don't want to do it 1,900 pages worth, or well, I guess that wouldn't be that many. It would only be 900 pages worth or something.
Um, what I usually do
Delete all.
Oh, no, no, that.
is I've mistakenly checked in Canvas. It's a LMS for teaching. I've mistakenly checked it such that every time somebody makes a post to like a discussion, it sends me an email. And so it's a nightmare. I do use the search mail up here, but what I do is I'll look for keywords. Like I think one of the keywords is comment made, or I forget what it is exactly, and I'll search for that.
Right.
And I put quotes around it. By putting quotes around it, it looks for that exact phrase.
Oh, that's good.
So that
You do that in Yahoo and any kind of mail?
right.
I like that.
Yeah, the double quotes is what makes it look precisely instead of, well, look for anything that has comment, look for anything that has made.
So we'll look for it from the sender or from or anything in the text of the.
In the text of the email.
In the text of the email, but not necessarily the sender. So how do I
Gotcha.
sort by sender? Like, okay, anything that's from my ex-brother-in-law or something. I don't have an ex-brother-in-law, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything from this fella. I want to delete all those.
Thank you. Block.
Well, in the meantime, I'm just teasing. I'm just
Yeah.
something. And again, will it only show me the first whatever lines of my email? Because it only shows you your first so many.
Right. I always just search by this. I never really have tried to sort it by sender.
Okay. And then, like I said, with 1,900 emails, you can push the little arrow button where it says one of one up there towards the top right.
Mm-hmm.
Mine says I'm on like number 101.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Because
how do you?
there's a more option. You got your email? I can't show you the one email.
No, I have an email.
Let's see. Which is probably what you're already doing. You see the oh yes.
There's just so many. I'm just like, holy cow! Like, let's say I wanted to get rid of anything from Google Assistant or.
Let's see.
So yeah,
And I realize this primary social promotion, which I don't know how it knows that necessarily, but
No. Let me find that. See, I never have tried to sort it by the sender.
yeah, and like I said, I can do that in Outlook. I can sort it by the sender. I can sort it by the receive date. I can sort it by the.
See, I was just like search for Verizon things like that. But you're right, it brings
But
up.
see, yeah, I've got a lot of junk because Vivid Seats is not Verizon, so why is it showing?
I'm guessing
that?
that you probably have to like put something additional word up there with it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It's like it should just be sortable, so I can select all those, and then. Do you do control? Say I had all those, do I control A?
Well, there's if you did have something you wanted to delete all of them, there's an upper left hand corner. I can't show you here because there's only one. But if you choose that, it'll select all of them.
Choose what? It says.
Let's see.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
This is the whole Google thing. I guess I was saying Google Docs. I meant Google everything.
Google everything.
yeah, that's what I thought too.
Google everything.
everything.
Like right now, I just did Verizon Smart
Box right
Banking.
there.
Oh, that box.
Yeah, then it'll select everything. And
But
then
again, probably only for.
it has everything that you got highlighted on the screen.
Yeah, probably not.
See, like right there, when I did that, if I do that, it's like, oh wait, I didn't want to include that. You just uncheck that one.
Uncheck it.
Okay, okay. So I was like, and again, it's only gonna do
Just those 48. Now the question is, how can we configure it so it shows everything? That's part I was thought would be under the little settings over there. But I didn't see that.
options. You know, sort of like when you're even shopping online and you say how many things you want to see at a time, even like on
Right.
Amazon or something. It's like you want to see 25 to a page or 700 to a page.
It doesn't like to change that.
Well, I have this highlight, so I don't know if I can do this.
It doesn't like it. Now, in terms of your other questions, oftentimes you have to put keywords in if you want to narrow down.
Well, actually, on that search, that drop down, you can do search, you can do from. It does say you can do from.
Oh yeah, there.
There is a drop down.
So that is how you could then do it from a certain individual.
Yeah. But again, I'll bet you it only does that pages work, I think. That's what's got me.
Well, it won't do it'll do everything. But it'll only show you 50. But yeah, remember I said there's a keyword? See how there's from, Verizon?
Yeah.
You'll find that in a browser too. Like if you go to Google, and if I were to type up here, site, and then if I typed in asterisk.edu, that would search only education sites. So that's why I said these keywords are what allows you to do additional items. Over in Google Mail, one of the keywords is from. Probably, I'm guessing, to would be everybody who you sent it to.
Right. Okay.
But those knowing what those keywords should be, that drop down here. See if I change Verizon. Actually, it isn't two there, isn't it?
Subject, if you put subject, the colon too.
Right. So if I look at that, it probably does subject : math. So that's what allows it to narrow down in a search in a Google product. I use it mainly over here in the search engine. Mainly because look how many I got just by narrowing it down to education sites. 1 billion, 1.1 billion. So that's why it's helpful to narrow that down and try to figure out.
Education and then put a comma, put Kansas.
For location?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah. If you do a space and do Kansas, that'll bring up everything dealing with education in Kansas.
Oh, it's still 13 million.
Wow.
Sumner County.
Sumner. Yeah.
The asterisk has to go in there.
The what? I'm so used to putting it there. It's a wild card, but let's try it because I think that should work. Okay, you don't. I guess I've just been doing it for so long that I can't break myself of it. No, because having that keyword there, and again, that's universal across their sites. I just didn't know what it should be here.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I haven't put the I'll stay here as long as you have questions. I may not know the answer, but I usually can find it pretty fast.
I think the keyword is sort.
Is it? So sort is the keyword on that?
Try that and see if I'm crazy.
Yeah, you can.
Well, I only got one email. Well, let me try sort.
It's hard to sort when you
Sort by Verizon.
Sort it by different ways. I can filter it.
You can sort it by,
I haven't been able to figure out how to sort it. I've only been able to figure out how to.
you can sort it by date, by name, by,
How do you do that? Do you hit sort colon something?
in mine, I just put sort. And then you can-
Oh, you have the option of sort on your email, but I mean on your phone, but I don't have that.
oh,
Wonder what those would be called.
oh, I
See,
do-
here it's in the
I
thing, it
have-
says sort.
Google
Yeah, but I can do all of it.
Mail keywords, search keywords.
I think it's curious because I have my email is logged in, my personal email is logged in, so I didn't know what the difference in my choices or options.
Oh, I'll be putting the next week's out there. Unless there's a specific request, it's just going to be Google Sheets, which is the Excel version of this. So
That's next Tuesday?
next Tuesday.
Let me check my calendar here. Next Tuesday is March the 2nd.
What I did,
Probably, I got a granddaughter's birthday that
What's
day.
it made?
the spreadsheet version of this, Google Sheets.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, what I did is I went to Google and I searched for Google Mail search keywords, and it came up with search operators you can use with Gmail. And it looks like you can do everything under the sun in terms of that searching. Remember how that word, the from, the to?
Subject,
You can put or in there if you want like to criteria from Verizon or from David. You can find messages with.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing. It's like if you don't know some of these key things, it's not intuitive like
No.
the others. That's what's throwing me.
Yeah, like you have to know all the, messages have a certain label, whatever. Messages have an attachment. So if you want to search for attachment, you have to do has colon attachment.
You know what? I found too over time, over the last few years, how even like a PDF file and everything that they started to do, if you didn't know to do Control F to find, it doesn't. They started. I was like, "Where's the find? You can't find." And it's like if you don't know to pull stuff up, they have really gotten to where they just assume you know stuff.
Right. They assume everybody knows Control F. They assume everybody knows Control Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's Control D, delete?
Probably. X is like cut. X because I do a lot of Control X, Control V to paste it.
Bye. Have a good night.
Control C.
Thank you for coming.
I'll do a Control X and a Control V to delete and paste something basically. And it's X. I don't know either. P is print.
Yeah.
And C is copy it back.
Okay, you want me out of this thing or just leave it?
Yeah, I know.
I'll go ahead and shut down. Yeah.
Huh?
You can shut down. Yeah, these are recipients, search for messages before, after, older, newer. So you can put dates in there. Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't in that drop down.
Oh. Wow. I just started that.
I'm gonna tell a board member.
Huh?
I'm gonna tell a board member, because I do a board member.
Yeah, I'm sorry.